Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel Wheels to Adventure and the inaugural video for the I Love America tour. After about a year of hard work, saving money, planning, talking endlessly about this idea, I am ready to set off, me and my brother, tomorrow morning to travel the country. As you saw in the introductory clip, this was essentially inspired by a news story that I heard about Rails to Trails. And what is that? Simple. Rails to Trails is a concept in which you take abandoned railroad tracks rather, and turn them into bike trails. And there is a trail that goes from Washington, D.C. all the way out to Washington State. Now, when I say a trail, I mean a series of different connected trails throughout 11 different states. And now when I heard about this or saw this news story, I was completely blown away. I mean, the idea that you would be able to do something like that without being on the roads and on your bike was mind-blowing to me. I've never even thought about anything like that. But apparently, they put it together. And there are a lot of people who have done it, both on this trail and other routes as well. So I decided, hey, I want to do this. Now, mine's going to be a little bit different, as you come to see on this channel, as well as the newsletter, which will be the primary publication source for this trip, wheels2adventure.com. Some of this is going to be by bike, some of it's going to be by in the SUV. Now, the reason for that is simple. About half of the route across the country is paved with as a bicycle trail. The others aren't connected or completed yet. So in those areas, we'll be driving. In the other areas, we'll be doing a bike and seeing the country. And, ask yourself this question. Have you actually seen the country that you live in? Well, let me back up. I say that as if I'm only talking to Americans. So anyone that happens to be from Europe or Southeast Asia or any place outside the country, I apologize. You know how us Americans can be. We can get a little bit, American-centric, so to speak. What I mean is, if you're an American, how often have you actually seen the country? I mean, even if you're somewhat well-traveled because of your job or general vacation spots, most people today haven't seen a lot of the country that they live in. The era of road trips that were really big in the 50s, 60s, and 70s has gone away. Now, certainly there are people who backpack, there are people who overland, and so they travel a country and certainly go into areas that are not well publicized because they're off the well-beaten path. But the average American has not seen a lot of the cities in this country, and certainly not a lot of the towns that make up this continent. And I want to focus on that word right quick, continent. Because when you think about it, if you're like me or a lot of my friends, when you think about going on a vacation, you might be thinking about some place that's beautiful, sandy beaches, sunny weather, exotic looking locales. And I understand that, and certainly the world's a big place and there are plenty of places to go that offer that. But people forget that America is actually darn near a whole continent. I mean, it's North America, essentially. You look at Germany, you look at England, you look at France, those are countries, but they're countries that are a part of a continent. They're not countries that are essentially a continent. America is. And what that means is every vista that's possible to be seen, we have right here in our country. No passport needed. Think about it. Beaches. Who doesn't love a beautiful sandy beach? Did you know that one of the top beaches in the world consistently over the last 15, 20 years, every year, is right here in Florida? You don't have to, again, pull out a passport. You can hop on a plane, staying within your own country, and go to a beach that is considered as beautiful as any in Fiji. You want mountains? We've got plenty of places. The Appalachian Trail, we've got Colorado. If you're willing to take a longer plane ride, we even have Alaska. Deserts, we've got those. Swamps, we've got those. I'm not exactly sure why you would want to go there and fight the mosquitoes, but hey, if that's your thing, we've got it. Every different type of forest you can think of, short of, a range jungle forest like you would see in South America or Southeast Asia. Those are probably the only type of wilderness type outside of something like the Arctic that the country doesn't have. If you're willing to stay in the country and look, whatever you're looking to find outside the country, you can probably find here. So, a lot of those areas I'm going to get a chance to see, and I'm really excited about it. And that's what the Wheels to Adventure, I would say website and branding, if you will, since that's what everybody seems to do these days, is all about. Getting out and having an adventure with two, four, or for some people, even one wheel, whether it's your van, your SUV, motorcycle, bikes. We're going to be doing car and bikes. So the Rails to Trail goes, again, from DC to Washington. Most of it, half of it's paved, so that will be easy. And we'll get a chance to go through all of the small towns across America and meet the real people here. Which brings me to why I call it the I Love America Tour. And the first reason is, frankly, because I love America. I love this country. I think it's the best country in the world. It's the best country that's ever been created in the history of man. Now, when I say that, I do not mean perfect. One of the best players, if not the best player, that ever played the game of basketball is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't hit every game-winning shot. Michael Jordan didn't win every game. Michael Jordan did lose in playoffs long before he won championships, but he's considered the greatest. Now, the younger generation kind of poo-poos that notion and says, nah, LeBron James is the greatest ever. Okay, fine. Let's say that he is. I mean, he's really not, but let's just, for the sake of argument, say that he is. Has LeBron won every game? Has he hit every game-winning shot? Has he never missed a shot? Has he never missed a dunk? Has he never missed a jump shot? Has he never lost the ball? Has he never made a mistake? The answer, of course, is no. He's done all of those things. Because even if you think he's the best, and certainly I can't argue that he's been the best the last 10 to 15 years, he's not perfect. You don't have to be perfect in order to be the best. America's past is complicated. America's present isn't so much. And there are too many people who look like me, meaning black people, who don't act like they love the country, who act like the country is treating them in the same way that their great-grandparents was treated. And that's just not the case. I mean, we're not too far removed from a black guy with a name that white people couldn't pronounce being president. And he beat a guy with a basic name, John, who was a military hero. If that doesn't speak to change, I don't know what does. So I love this country. There's a lot of good about the country. There's a lot of good people in this country. In the South, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in the interior. They're there by the millions. And I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of them. I'm looking forward to seeing what a lot of our settlers saw about this country as they traveled across it. And it's a little bit different today because we've got cities and roadways and traffic and all of that. But there are a lot of places in this country that you don't get to hear about that are beautiful, that are wonderful, and have people who will treat you kindly and only care that you treat them the same. I'm looking forward to meeting them. I'm looking forward to introducing you to them. So the way this is going to work is most of the content's going to be at the website wheels2adventure.com. That is a newsletter. Please subscribe to that. I'll be putting interviews, pictures of bread and breakfasts, talking with everyday Americans, obviously taking as many great shots and video of the vistas that we go through as possible. Some of the content, particularly the video interviews and things of that nature, will be here on the channel here. So make sure you hit subscribe to the channel on YouTube and hit the notification bell so when I post anything, you do get an alert about it. I will also be doing some audio because I want to do this, a little new media style. So some of the audio will be set up as, I wouldn't say podcast, but it'll be on a podcasting app, SoundCloud and others. But you'll be able to hear those audio clips both here at the YouTube channel and directly from the Wheels to Adventure website as well. I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully it'll go without a hitch. Adventures seldom do. This is obviously a new thing to me. Travel, camping, cooking out, things of that nature on a day-to-day basis. I'm expecting a wonderful story to tell when I get back, as well as ongoing stories, articles, insights, general musings, if you will, as we travel the country. I hope it's entertaining. I hope it's educational in some ways, and most importantly, if you're somebody who just thinks of America as someplace you just happen to live, you just happen to be here by the luck of God, so to speak, hopefully you'll get a chance to see what so many of us who love this country see on a day-to-day basis.